Have you ever heard the expression read the room? As being invited to be more aware of what's going on, more perceptive, not missing important clues and information about what's happening, people, intentions, engagements. Well, wouldn't it be nice if more than read the room, you could read every situation clearly so that you're really well informed and can make the best decisions possible? Well, that is what our elevation is about. This is what we are ascending toward. This is what the fourth and the fifth dimension brings as a gift. These intuitive faculties that once we start developing them can actually create a much more aware perception in you, so you can read life and you can move through life gracefully, secure, protected, away from trouble, toward opportunity, and you don't miss a beat. My name's Sonia Choquette. Thanks for tuning into my channel. We've been talking for the last few months about the ascension of our consciousness, the great shifts going on this planet, and believe me, the more we look around, the more we can't deny these shifts are happening, and that we better figure out where and how to respond to these shifts in the best possible way as quickly as possible. Now, just as a bit of a recap, and especially if you're new, we have been talking about leaving the third dimension consciousness exclusively and awakening these higher levels of consciousness, of awareness in us, higher levels of consciousness in our minds, in our perceptions, in our thinking, in our emotions, and higher levels of consciousness in our spirit, the essence of who we are. So this is what the third dimension is really about. The third dimension, physical matter, everything that's, you can touch and see, but it isn't all there is. The problem is, if you are a person who lives exclusively from the third dimension perspective, and that you only take into account that unless it's physical, it doesn't exist, you're going to see the world and experience the world as a rather threatening thing, because the third dimension creates the illusion that you're alone, that it's you against everybody else and I'm outnumbered. So you push life away and you actually shut down even more. You start to see other people as things and the threats, and you start to hurt them or run away from them or judge them or fear them, but all of that takes your power away. Fortunately, as we're talking, especially if you've been with me for a while on this channel, you can see, well, that's changing. I am actually beginning to be aware of more than meets the eye, and I am beginning to recognize I am a spirit. I am an energetic being, if not spiritual being yet. At least I begin to see that I have an awareness and a consciousness that extends beyond my physical body and can tune into things beyond the physical world. Now, have you ever had a feeling? Can you, for example, think about a time when someone walked in a room or entered the house and you actually didn't see them, but you could feel the presence? Or how about if someone's watching you? You can sense it even though you haven't had direct eye contact. And have you had good vibes, walked into a place and like, man, I love this place and I love the people in it, because you're having an energetic and highly vibrationally comfortable match. It's like, this feels energetically good. Maybe you haven't even exchanged words. It happens with cities. People say when they're looking for houses, they'll walk into a certain house. If they're buying a house, they'll scout around and say, nah, it's not for me. Or, I love this place. And very little of it has to do with the physical alone. It's a vibe. It's a feeling. And the same goes for relationships. The same goes for work. But if your feelings and your vibes aren't clear, you can make a terrible mistake, which is why you want to have that ability to read the situation, to read life as it's unfolding for you. As you begin to wake up further and you begin to recognize behind all this layers of energy is this beautiful divine spirit in me, but it's not just in me. I have a spirit, but it's a shared spirit. There is a life force that we all share that's very, very holy. It's very sacred. It's what gives us life. It's what makes the trees and the flowers bloom. It's what makes the birds fly. It gives us the ability to be conscious. So as we wake up these faculties, these inner skills, we start to experience intuitive inner senses that are connected to our gut, to our heart, to our cells, to the back of our head. We even have what in the pineal gland in the middle of our brain here, right in the center between here and here, that begins to pick up energy and communicate it. And it's those inner faculties that allow us to read the situation, read the room, protect ourselves, make quick decisions, make accurate decisions based on assessing the energy we are encountering accurately. So this skill is what we need, especially if you look around the world right now. Can't you how many of you are just waking up and you're wide awake in the middle of the night and you're feeling all this tension in the air and you don't know, you don't feel secure. There's so much that's new, that's unprecedented, that we haven't experienced from the past. These earth changes and this political chaos and some of it horrifying. It was like we have to begin to say, what the heck is happening? And am I really in danger? And if so, how do I get out of danger? Am I really waking up to new opportunities and moving away from this old, dense, fear-based consciousness? Well, that is what's happening, and the planet is requiring that we all begin to develop these skills to read life accurately. That will help us make better decisions with our earth, with our health, with our relationships, with our professions, with our investments, with our communities, with our planet. I mean, let's face it, every mess we're in is a direct consequence of seriously misreading the energy around us. For example, I have a client who was very frustrated because she met someone that she just, in a relationship on a dating app, that she just loved. However, after 2 or 3 dates, she said, the guy was just love bombing me. Couldn't have been more effusive in love and generosity and flattery and good energy and compatibility. But my vibes were suspicious. I felt I was reading an energy off of him that was not matching how he was showing up. She said, darn it, I ignored what I felt. And after he love bombed me, he borrowed money from me and then disappeared. She said, the thing is, I wasn't surprised. I read the room. I read the situation. I could read what was going on with him, but not enough to take care of myself, not enough to trust my vibes and take care of myself. I just lost the plot, as they say, where I live here in the UK right now. It's like I lost it. I didn't go with it. So have you ever made a decision? I have another client who fell in love with a condo that she was looking to buy, and it was the right price, and it was owner finance, so no bank mortgages that were through the roof. It was a dream come true. It was just a dream come true. That the owner couldn't have been more accommodating. The place looked beautiful. I looked at it twice. It really felt too good to be true, and I had the vibe that I should probably slow down, even though it was like, hurry, 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 hurry. Well, I got swept away with the energy, she said, and went ahead and bought the house, made the deal. Quick, quick, quick. Owner left. And 2 weeks later, I realized that I had the neighbors from hell, that the people next door were so loud, so toxic, and as it turned out, we're running a meth lab right next door. And this was a condo, so we were connected. So why didn't I slow down? Why? I was getting the vibes, but I wasn't reading the situation accurately. And now, do I get someone else to buy this and dump the problem on them? It's terrible. So that is the kind of life situations that we are being met with. Another client of mine said, I was on my way to go to California and visit my friends for the summer, but I had a terrible vibe and kept saying, don't go, even though they were like, come, have fun, let's do this, it'll be great. And so I overrode my vibes and went out, joined them, and I was only there 2.5 weeks when all kinds of fires broke out. Their house burned down and we nearly died. So traumatic, I'm still getting treated for it. Again, picking up the situation, but choosing not to, or not having the skill to read the room, to read the vibrations, to accurately interpret what was being communicated, what I was picking up. So I really feel it's important that we begin to recognize this ascension is not a sit back in the balcony kind of experience. This planet is undergoing a lot of rapid, unpredictable change. It is unprecedented from the past. We need to really learn how to be present, to tune in, to go with what we're feeling instead of shut it down and walk into trouble or miss opportunity for that matter. I had another client who said, I met the most wonderful woman and I just knew in my heart that she was for me, but she didn't meet the criterion that I had been conditioned to say was my other one. She wasn't the same race. She was not the age that I thought, but everything about her was so perfect. And I didn't go for it. I let her go. And I have been alone ever since. That was 15 years ago. I wish I had gone with her. I wish we had created a life together because it was so great when we were. So as you can see, we are being invited to become more conscious so that we're more skilled and more prepared to live lives where our decisions, our choices are very well informed, very clear, very conscious, so that we make choices that will help us manifest our dreams, that will help us stay safe and protected, that will help us connect to the people that will support us and stay away from the ones that are misleading us and manipulating us, and will help us with our health. And when we have trouble with our health, we get on it before we're in dire straits. So for those, if anyone, I've decided and I've been guided actually by my teacher guides to begin a very intimate training on how to read life that I've never done before, because this is super important to learn right now. How to not only just pick up the vibes, which is what's happening as we raise our consciousness, but actually use them to make decisions at service. And so I've been guided to do a very intimate mentoring because I've been teaching people to read life and to develop their inner self and raise their vibration and live at a higher level for over 50 years. And I'm not kidding you. I have been all over the planet and back and have learned what works and what doesn't. And I'm ready to teach that to those who want to do that. So I'm going to teach a very, very intimate mentoring. I'm only going to take 18 people and do a deep dive immersion and really open you up, teach you how to read situations in many different ways and how to verbalize it and get clear about it and double check that it actually is accurate, and how to overcome your obstacles and draw in the divine protection that's available to you, and help you develop skills to come out of this third dimension kind of underwater, unclear awareness that really does mislead us. So if you feel inclined to explore something that would be so life-changing and deep dive with me, like we're going to spend over 10 hours of deep immersion work and some one-on-one conversation and some one-on-one reading about how to clear your space, then please check out my program, Read Life. It's very small, it's very intimate, it's not for everyone. But for those who feel called not only to develop these skills for yourself, but maybe even be a leader for others, it might be for you. So listen to your inner voice. Listen to this energy. And if you feel like, yes, I've got to do that, then do follow the information that we will put, and check out the Read Life course, because this is something that I've been guided to do that I've never done before. This is an immense in training that I'm making available to the public like never before. But our planet's changing. We need to learn these skills quickly so that we don't walk into trouble, get ambushed, make decisions that compromise our well-being and really take us off on a path that we don't belong to, where we miss our purpose, we miss our connections, and we miss the joy of life. So if you feel called, there's not very many of you, but if you do, I would love to teach you how to read life. I hope I see you there. All my love. And if you're not called, that's okay. Just if you feel like you still want to learn, stay with me, subscribe on this channel, and I'll continue to be teaching these weekly lessons and sharing with you how to wake up these skills, even when it looks like it's super crazy out there and unsafe. I'll show you how to navigate. So thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time. All my love.